gaming, they have to win through the other two lanes. And I do see a lot of focus if they get the first couple of ganks down or not is going to decide whether they win or not.
Absolutely. But Beyond are a team that have been unafraid to lay those sort of stakes on the line. Both these teams tied at 1-1 here in the opening round of the playoffs. Of course, with the double elimination bracket, it does mean that even the losers here today will have another chance to fight it out, whereas the winners will go on to face up against the likes of PSG Talon, the defending champions, as we get things underway here. Not too many surprises in the start as far as our Keystone runes are concerned. Taking a look, of course, at all of the summoners. Also, no major surprises there.
Yeah, nothing that pops out too much. Once again, Beyond Gaming is going to have a good level 1. They will spot out where Hana is going to be starting out here. And looking across the board, you should expect DCG to have both of the top and the bottom lane pushing. So I don't think this Viego is going to run into that many problems versus the Lee Sin. He should still be able to at least split the scuttles going later into the game. So I think DCG is going to have a fairly decent early game. The problem is if Viego is spotted on the map, that does allow Minji and Husha to go for very extreme ganks into the mid lane. You know, we could be seeing some three-camp gank, which is pretty common with the Lee Sin.
Yeah, and that's the type of thing that we were saying was likely from the draft, likely from the style. I think Beyond Gaming, you know, are at their best when they can get those plays off early on. And we're actually going to see already Wako and Kino trying to get a little bit of engage down. Woody taking a little bit of poke, not too much, of course, in this matchup. That 2v2 down bot we can never take for granted won't end in a kill, as we have seen.
Yeah, but I feel like this lane, if DCG want to play it just with the shove style, they should be able to prevail. In the meantime, Leaky actually doing a pretty decent job at trading down the HP coming in from Liang right here. Again, this is not a very easy lane for a Renekton to hang into most of the time, but at least he's landing all of his Qs inside the training phase. And surprisingly enough, DCG actually going to pull this one.
Ooh, Woody onto the snap traps he goes as well. They really want to secure that first, but Kriskata, what was he doing there? He's burning, flashing forward the shield, though. Wako miscalculating on that. And what started out as a pretty great trade for Beyond actually turns in Deep Cross's favor as they're going to bring Husha in. Spotted on the River Ward, though.
Overall, in terms of the HP, still a massive blunder by DCG as they get hit by a double Flame Chomper. This does mean that Woody is in somewhat of an execution range if Husha does find it, but he will stay alive here, and we should see the fight now moving towards the jungle.
Yeah, Nom's a lot of biscuits, Woody healing up here, and now the blue buff is under contest. Hana going to need a little help if he wants to get this back for himself. They actually didn't even quite decide on. Oh, the flash in Kino! And oh my goodness, everyone just bails out of that one as the blue is secured by Husha. So advantage Beyond Gaming. Very aggressive start to this game down bot.
Yeah, that was a great flash trade coming in from Kino. He gets the flash from Hana instantly, and that does mean that his other lanes get to stay a lot safer. Usually, you can't really expect Viego to get ganks off without the flash stun, so Spectral Mala is going to be a lot less potent in that one. It might look a little bit desperate, but I think it actually ends up being a very good trade coming in from the side of Nautilus.
Yeah, I think that's a great start here, Beyond Gaming. You would have thought after the last two games, a really good opener, I think a surprise for a number of people, ourselves included, that they were coming out of the gate swinging so hard and trying something so different. Have looked good in team fights, but last game, things just fell apart a little at the end. It was Deep Cross Gaming that had the edge, that had an opener, and it was Beyond Gaming. They got a little bit punished for some complacency. This time around, Beyond are taking absolutely no chances and sticking with that trademark style of heavy aggression in the laning phase across the board.
Yeah, again, Leaky actually outplaying Leon a little bit right here. Anticipates where the wallop is going to land and throws some damage back with the Ruthless Predator. Should be able to pick off this wave quite easily. And essentially what we're waiting here for is the level 6. I feel like DCG has done a great job at keeping Nessie alive, keeping the Lee Sin LeBlanc combo from really working. And afterwards, it's going to be all about the top side. As long as they don't lose too hard in the bottom side, I feel like they should be able to execute a top-focused strategy quite well here.
You're right, but that is a bit of an if, right? Certainly the case when Wako and Kino are going to be gunning for him. Going to be waiting for Sums to probably come back up for a little bit before things are all said and done. But we do want to keep our eye on that mid lane, because while Husha has made a trip down bottom here, whatever, mind, we'll talk about that in a minute.
What?
As they've got the root down onto Kriskata again, but the polymorph comes in to buy a little bit of time as they're able to limp away, but still the trade in favor of Beyond Gaming's bottom side.
This is pretty disgusting. How is Kino able to find all of these dredge lines essentially inside the minion wave?
He's threading the needle.
You're not supposed to win this lane, but Kino is definitely making it work. And I think DCG, they now might consider changing their game plan a little bit and going for the bottom side instead. But I feel like that's a lot riskier given the 4v4. Like the 3v3 I feel like is solidly in DCG's favor, but the 4v4 not exactly so.
Yeah, it's a lot of tricky math to try and handle on the fly, I think. So definitely trying to play a little bit further back here. They are going to back away from the Dragon. Hana had opened that one up, but Husha sniffs it out, does actually re-aggro it, and that's one thing you can do as a Lee Sin that you have a little bit of a harder time doing as a Viego on your own. However, we might get a full contest here. It's actually 3v2 until Wako joins, and we're going to even those odds as well as Nesty comes in. The polymorph comes down onto Husha. First blood picked up by Nesty, and now Wako is caught in a world of hurt. Another massive hook, this time, though, courtesy of Hana, as he was able to take that one in the Viego and reset city, baby.
I feel like Beyond Gaming's calculations were right to start the fight off, but their execution was very lacking, especially with the coordination with Minji. Like, he was way too far from the scene, and he actually wasn't keeping tabs on Nesty either. Like, if you're keeping tabs on this, yes, you can actually take this fight, but that was not the case right there. I feel like the more I look at this is a miscommunication where Minji said, yes, I can stop the TF, but he didn't end up stopping the TF, and they just collapsed completely. If you look at the minimap, it was very, very close, but Nesty still got out.
Yeah, and not only that, he got 2 kills off the back of it, so the game plan to shut him down is a little bit, a little scuffed right now, Clement. Yeah, that's unfortunate if you are Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, that's it's definitely interesting. Beyond Gaming, the reason I said they should be able to win the 4v4 is because they do have extra engage coming in from the side of their support. So it's a bit easier to pick the fights. Usually, hard engage supports do fare out better in these river skirmishes. But to me, that was a very clear miscommunication that just they thought Ninja would be able to make this a 3v3. Didn't really happen. And with that, it does mean that Nesty, now further accelerated with the build, is going to be able to push out his lane a lot easier and find those opportunities to go into whichever lane he so chooses to. Now, the bot lane still looks like it's going in favor of Beyond Gaming, and something I'm very surprised about is that Kriskata actually didn't get any assists in that one, so it didn't actually change the bot lane calculations as much as DCG would have wanted it to.
And they're being forced away from the farm as well. Husha keeping the pressure on down on this bottom side. Got to be careful not to push too far forward, but he's got some assistance. Kino and Wako there. And this is just a full-on bullying in the 2v2. They're just not even letting them get anywhere near the minions. And if they can keep the Aphelios down, that's certainly a way back into this early game. But you have to worry when Operation Shutdown Nesty has been an absolute failure. Now it's going to be the push on to Liang. Dive here for Nesty and Hana. Will he see this coming? Does have a full Narbar.
I think he's just going to play for wave clear.
Nesty?
Here, only opportunity.
Nesty fully tanking the turrets, actually forced to flash away, but they do take down Liang. Okay, so a bit of a wonky moment, but it does result in the kill.
Yeah, definitely could have saved the flash, but they had overwhelming firepower, and with the Herald there, they don't even need to use the Herald. They should be able to just straight up strip the top lane tower. We always knew this was happening, and I think once again, Leaky will be able to flip the matchup. If you look at the CS difference here, that was a pretty brutal timing for Leon to die in front of such a massive minion wave. So I think we will see just basically Gnar not being able to split push this Renekton until very much later into the game.
Rift Herald ended up hopping in the middle. There should be a few more plates. In fact, they might be able to finish it. Oh no, Minji walks right up and gets stunned in the gold card, but they don't really have the follow-up damage. So last plate's going to finish. And Deep Cross Gaming just cashing in on gold on 2 sides of the map, whereas Beyond are going to have to be content with just the bottom.
Yeah, very critically, Hana is getting incredibly fed at this point. He might be getting an early Divine Thunder coming out from him, and you know, it's always important to kind of keep note of Viego growth, because if they get fed enough, we have seen Viegos just go for Blade of the Ruin King and start split pushing themselves. It's definitely a possibility. And when you're playing a reset composition with low damage in your mid game, in your mid lane, it's always very important for this Viego to find things, and here he goes.
Kino stepping a little too far forward. Doesn't get too punished for it, luckily. Still a pretty tanky boy on that Nautilus. So he walks away. But yeah, you got to be careful pushing your luck into that jungle, even though you've controlled that side of the map for a little while now. It's not a foregone conclusion. Deep Cross with 3 kills, unanswered by Megabank Beyond Gaming. Only have the Dragon to show for it. Still hanging onto this tower. However, how did Kino hit that hook? And the polymorph is the only thing that buys a second, but in comes Minji looking for the kill. He's able to do it. Here we go, Hana on the follow-through. Minji is so low over the wall into the Heartbreaker. He does manage to secure himself the kill onto LeBlanc.
Beautiful Spectral Maw coming in from Hana right here. Actually predicts the distort from Minji, so able to delay the death until he can find the comeback kill, and this is going to be a real problem down the line. The Viego 2-0 and 2, and with the delay, they should be able to chunk down this mid lane tower. Nessie is going to play this a little bit safer in that one, but that was such a critical play coming in to make sure the trade at least happens for the side. But once again, if Beyond Gaming find a win in this game, I feel like Kino 100% is the MVP. This laning phase should not have gone the way of Beyond Gaming. There was no way that, you know, in this double range lane where you can constantly just shove, should Kino be able to engage whenever he wants to.
Yeah, that's it's the saving grace for how things are going, because elsewhere across the map, it's definitely not looking so hot. As predicted, that Divine Sunderer does come in 12 minutes on the clock. You also see Nesty getting his mythic completed as well around that same time, but pressure still being put here by the Beyond Gaming side. Blast Cone taken by Husha. Hana and that Harrowed Path going to just stare down Kino as this tower has yet to fall. With all the pressure, we've actually not seen any towers taken out this game. I do think that should change soon. We'll keep an eye up topside as well, as Leaky really getting the edge over Leong, whose Narbard's just now coming back up, and looks like Deep Cross are able to stiff arm Megabank Beyond Gaming. Wait a second, that channel completes. Oh boy, all of a sudden the numbers are changed a little bit. Really good Flame Chopper from Wako is going to deny the push. Meanwhile, back up top, Narbar run out. Leaky is also taking a little bit more chunk down. But yeah, this Renekton has been doing so much in the farm game. A 30 CS advantage over Liang.
Yeah, just very powerful start coming in from him. TCG, I feel like they could have played a little bit more aggressive with that previous game. They did have
Speaking of aggressive,
two.
That's going to be the Nautilus Ultimate, and Kriskata is focused, but oh, they just have so much damage. That Moonlight Vigil
attack
didn't really do enough as Wako running wild on the Chompers, on the Rockets. It does mean Woody gets Wild Growth off to save his own life, but oh boy, finally going to get that first tower down in favor of Beyond Gaming, and it's a race there for first brick as Nesty and Leaky are there as well.
Nesty!
Oh, they get it! Wow.
Pretty huge for the mid lane here, and see if Hana can find Spectral Maw.
Okay, he dodges it. Lay the Rune King does come in, though. Okay, he's able to walk away. No harm, no foul, but I'm actually surprised Beyond lost out on first brick there.
Yeah, I feel like they actually retreated most of their members. Now, I will say first break matters a lot less this late into the game for sure. And they're probably looking for the earlier reset onto Herald. So, you know, it's not a massive blunder by any means. I'm just kind of surprised that they got that engaged so easily on the side of Kino. Once again, just great stuff on this Nautilus. He got a 3-man def charge going into that skirmish, and that was a fight that DCG thought they were somewhat safe in. They didn't expect the full-on engage coming in whatsoever, and they actually lost out quite hard. So, you know, good calculations on the side of Beyond Gaming to find the kill and the tower into that one. And let's see if the Super Mega Death Rocket can find it. Oh my god.
Oh, so close. That was actually so incredibly close. And even with the reduced AoE damage on monsters, you thought that was going through there. And nevertheless, Deep Cross will equalize on Drakes. They get the Infernal for themselves. It's going to be a Mountain Rift coming up as well. And that actually, I feel like that means a fair bit for Beyond here, actually. Even though, you know, they didn't really execute as much on the jungle mid, I think Leong in the right position could set up a big Gnar that could turn some fights against that extra terrain.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well. You know, we are going to go into more of the Drake-oriented team fight scenarios. However, talking about the trade that we have in hand, the bottom lane for the Herald and top, I do feel like this actually favors DCG a little bit. They do want to get out of their natural lanes, and they do want to pick up their mythics. I think most importantly, they're still lacking those. So a trade is completely acceptable for them at this point in the game. And we do have a Mountain Drake, a Mount Soul coming up into the next team fight, which actually is pretty important for both of these teams because they both rely quite heavily on picks and resets. So getting that Mountain Soul will mean that a lot more time is given for the other team members to respond if someone gets picked out.
Yeah, so we should definitely see the teams hard contesting on that one as we go forward. Minji moving up into the top side of the map to make Leaky's life a little bit harder, and Minji has definitely had a respectable performance so far on this LeBlanc. We just haven't necessarily seen the shutdown Nesty potential. He's been able to dodge out of a lot of danger and had a pretty big impact in this early game, but it's going to be Deep Cross actually pushing down the mid lane themselves. Let's see if that tags over to the actual lane and not just on the minimap. And three-man squad of Kriskata, Woody, and Hana trying to find an opportunity, trying to find an opening, but here comes Minji over the wall, gets the root down, and they turn it. He does bounce back, and here's the follow-up from Husha, and it's actually going to be Hana shut down. That's a lot of gold straight into Husha's pocket.
Great find on the side of Beyond Gaming right there. Even though Minji gets caught out, I believe, with the stun once again from Hana, they're still able to clean it up quite nicely. Wild Growth used on the support themselves, so Hana has no real chance of getting away from that one. I do feel like they went a little bit too deep. I think they were actually aiming for a surround in the top side, but oh, here comes Kriskata.
Yeah, that Moonlight Vigil, that was massive. Can they get Wako, though? They just need a little bit on the red card. Nesty is able to find the kill, and that's big for Deep Cross. Shelly still doing work in the mid lane right now. They've got to finish the job, but she does not finish the tower. Crucial deletion on Wako.
Yeah, it was a beautiful timing coming in from Nesty. He just finished his rapid fire cannon, so probably threw a wrench into the calculations for Beyond Gaming. Gets the kill. Now the question is, can Leaky get away?
He's certainly going to try, looking for a wall that he can dice his way over. No, he's pulled back by Kino into the Dominus. Do they have the damage? Husha a little bit low in this one. Leong miscalculates where his teammates are going to be as Narbar comes up a little bit late, so Leaky does manage to get away. Here's the replay of that fight, though, again. It all started by a huge combination. Wako just from the minute one could not get into a safe position, and Nesty really made those cards stretch on the rapid fire cannon.
And this is why they picked the Aphelios over the Jinx, you know. DCG, they played 8 games of Jinx for Kriskata and far less games for the Aphelios, but since Aphelios had that long-range Graviton, you can make those picks happen a lot more often, and it was also just synced up so well with the first back of the rapid fire cannon, so able to catch Beyond Gaming off guard there. And I think this is a very strong setup going into the next Drake. If you look at the mini-map here, Beyond Gaming still have triple pinks that they need to clear through if they want to secure the positioning here. And this is very important for them to do because they don't really have a front-to-back team comp. If you look at the comps, I would favor DCG a lot more.
Okay. Hana does get stopped up, but for all the damage, or all the abilities expended, he doesn't take a lot of damage, so Deep Cross should be able to reset off that one. As you mentioned, triple pinks to clear. There was still one sitting down there a lot closer to the bottom lane for Deep Cross. Were they wanting to get a flank off the back of it? Of course, Nesty has 2 teleports available to him. Leaky doesn't have his, whereas Leong and Minji do have access to that critical summoner spell. 19 minutes on the game clock right now. Beyond Gaming looking to set some bait here. Leong making himself look tasty. But Deep Cross aren't biting on this. They're waiting to get a pincer of their own. Here comes Hana, Spectral Maw. They find Kino, and a huge amount of stun before Leong can even transform. He's deleted off the map right now, and the chase is on here. Nesty and Hana leading the charge to get another stun off. That's going to be huge. The kickback doesn't even matter as Wako's out of this one. That has got to be the Dragon contest. Here comes Leaky around the side. Into the Dominus he goes. And they should be able to keep the chase going as he slices and dices his way over the wall. The hook not going to land. Goodbye, Kino. and Nesty picking up another kill for himself. Deep Cross with a massive edge.
It was a very bad position for Beyond Gaming. They tried to use the Gnar as bait to get a favorable engage, but they didn't see Hana. Hana just pops over the wall, lands a critical stun, everyone able to follow up. Red card with the rapid fire cannon for the double slowdown, and then Hana once again finds the W. You know, we were talking about this being the first Viego game from Hana, but it seems like he's made those 12 days of practice really work out for him.
Oh, I think so too. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he'd be spamming that champion in solo queue. Let's take a look at this play again. Hana, good setup, but of course, the root, the burst, no chance for Leong, and all of a sudden, you get yourself the Gnar. Nessie comes around the side. Destiny Gate doesn't even need to take it, and oh man, the kickback, it's already too late. Wako's a dead man.
Nowhere for him to go in that one, and you know, Leaky tries to cut out the back here, and this is what I was talking about with Beyond Gaming. Their compositions are very difficult to execute. They don't go into 5v5s well, they're not front to back oriented, they have to find flanks, and if you look at the kill score right here, I feel like Minji doesn't have the burst potential in this game. He's not going for the Luden's Echo, it's an Everfrost build. He's also going for a healing reduction too, so it's even though they do get a cheeky steal, I feel like Minji's basically half a champion at this point.
Yeah, that's the trouble, right? I mean, they focused a lot, Deep Cross, I mean, focused a lot on banning him out and trying to deny him some of the more comfortable champions. His LeBlanc just not on the same level. He did manage to get a kill back, but it wasn't enough. Here we go. Once again, they engage on the Twisted Fate. Sends Beyond Gaming scattered. However, as they regroup here, it's Nesty that actually finds himself a little bit bursted down. Leong finally hits him with a boomerang. Hana a little bit low, and now the retreat is on. Ooh, polymorph in. That's pretty crucial right here. But will it be enough? Chris got it. Kick back. In goes. Once again, Husha for the kill. Hana taken low. Hana not taken down, however. And they find a 1-4-2 trade. Beyond Gaming still trying to knock down this tier 1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, a really good play coming in from Beyond Gaming. They notice the stopwatch is gone from Nesty. So they're able to turn on him and basically sever the entire team composition. Just incredible angle from Liang. He basically makes sure that the backline carry cannot follow up on the fight that was started in the front. We'll watch this again. I believe it was an instant TP coming in on the side of Liang right here. A good dodge by Minji, you know, making sure they could turn the situation. Down comes in. Lee Sin holds his ground, make sure the damage can't fall off from the backside, take off the mid lane first, and they even get another hero hook from Kino to make sure this Aphelios just cannot get fed whatsoever. This is such an insane performance from Kino.
Yeah, he's just been nailing hook after hook, and setting up for these kills. I really just think Beyond Gaming are so good at sticking on targets when they actually find an opening, and Kino gives them so many of those.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. I didn't expect this bot lane to win. I didn't expect them to turn around these fights. And we are getting to the phase where Gnar is expected to take over the Renekton. Unfortunately for Leaky, none of these kills have actually gone his way. So his impact in this side lane is going to diminish. And what that means is we should be able to see a lot more situations where Beyond Gaming can just roam and play a two-man game with Liang or this LeBlanc coming in to help him, like we did see in the earlier game.
Ooh, they're going to go ahead and look for a kill onto Liang right now, but Minji follows through. Do they have enough left? They do! Nesty's going to be claiming another one, and Minji now on the run. Gold card in hand. Nesty looks to chase down. There's the dash to Stort. Going to be back to safety. But Deep Cross throwing their weight around here, Clement. Certainly looking like a team together, and Hana and Nesty are going to be the ones to watch as we move forward, grabbing the lion's share of kills between the two of them.
Yeah, I do like the play from DCG. They will come in a little bit sooner than the TP, burst damage onto the Gnar, and Liang unfortunately wasn't able to get his Mega Gnar in that fight, just fell down in mini Gnar form, so easy pickings right there. And if we look at the itemizations from Minji, right, I don't really find this to be optimal. He is building into the Morello, but I understand the healing reduction is for Hana, but you also have that on the Gnar as well, and I think he needs far more burst damage to be relevant rather than going for this build. This is I feel like this build is just kind of conceding to the fact that he's probably just utility and not going to have the same one-shot potential as you normally do on the LeBlanc.
Yeah, I think they're going to be relying a lot in this later game on Wako right now. I mean, their composition was certainly built a little bit more for the early game. I suppose you could argue Liang is going to have a lot as well, but it's on the side lanes. Deep Cross are just outplaying at the moment. Next Dragon going to be coming up in a moment. It's a 4-stack of Deep Cross members. They do see Woody getting nailed by that Sonic Wave. A little bit of extra damage. Rocket comes in. Woody's a little bit on the low side. He does have access to his ultimate, though, Wild Growth, and they're going to be able to go in without that Jinx ult. They are feeling a little bit more confident that they won't be executed here as the Dragon does get started. Woody a little behind the curve here. Spectral Maw gets the stun off onto Liang. Here comes Minji around the side looking for the deletion, but Hana stiff arms him. Dragon contest is on, down to 3,000 hit points. Where's it going? Flame Chomper's going through. Hana waiting around. It's going to be a smite fight, and it's taken away by Hana. That is going to be the Drake stack built by Deep Cross. Fight on once again. Minji getting chased away here as Leaky just trying to be the front line. Destiny Gate. Nesty waiting, gets a little bit caught into the gold card, and that's going to be enough to net him another kill. Even though Hana gets hooked back, kicked back, doesn't even matter. Griscata opening up, well protected in this 5v5. And Beyond are going to be scattered for the hills here. Spectral Mod doesn't land onto Minji, doesn't quite stretch where it needed to. But 2 kills on the Dragon, absolutely you'll take that as Deep Cross.
Oh, Beyond Gaming just lost their patience in that one. Kino in the end, thinking that they found so much poke, goes in, but he instantly gets obliterated, and that gives the reset over to Hana. They have to play with so much more patience because their flanking champions just don't do damage. Like, Minji can find a combo on Nesty and do nothing, but maybe Wako can change it.
Oh, Woody's already down.
The Baron finishes off.
It was way too much. This is getting a little chaotic right now. Now Leaky trying to save the day. All of a sudden, things are nuts. Wako is going to try and get a kill back. That was a secure of the Nash, but you got to get away with it now. And it's going to be Husha taken down, but Griscata chased down by the Rockets. Now Hana going to give his life for this one. Even if you get the Baron, if you lose everyone, it doesn't matter. Nesty is going to get away, and you got to ask, was it worth it, Deep Cross?
Oh my god, I can't believe this is the end of what happened right there. I feel like Leaky kind of got baited by the positioning where Wako was going to come from, and he wasn't in the front lines. Instead, Woody just, I think he died even with his ultimate up, perhaps. Yep. Didn't expect to get taken down by the Baron. We're going to see if he actually had the cooldown first starting from the initial fight. I think the most important thing right here is just Kino just kind of getting antsy and throwing his hook out. I think he miscalculated and didn't take into effect that he would land the hook onto the mountain wall. Like he thought, oh, if I don't land the hook, then it'll still be safe. But if you look at this hook, he actually goes in, and that's kind of a death sentence for him, unfortunately. And that's just Reset City. You can see Hana, he takes the Nautilus, gets the extra crowd control, is able to snowball this fight. Liang doesn't get to make an impact even with the ultimate, and we don't get to see the Baron, but that was a huge turn of events here, and we do see Wako picking a lot more kills, going into the triple items and the Quicksilver here. So This is a huge power spike, and Beyond Gaming out of nowhere gets given a lifeline.
Yeah, that was those kills were pretty much just a gift into Wako's hands. We were just talking about how late into this game, that's the insurance policy of this early game composition. You need the Jinx to be online, and all of a sudden she is. Now there's going to be a catch here on to the Gnar. Liang caught between 3 members as Hana's looking to cut him off here. Heartbreaker into the Gnar, ult on the wall. Tags Minji. They get the kickback onto Leaky. Nobody dies, but Kino is about to change that as he goes in. The team does not follow, however, and down goes the Beyond Gaming support. Flashes burned as Beyond are running for the hills here. Minji and Husha still looking for a shutdown, and they will be able to find something, but it is Deep Cross that are looking oh so much better. Minji trying to bait out, and he does successfully bamboozle Husha, or Hana I should say, but it doesn't matter. With the 1 Baron on Nesty, they are making it work.
This could very much be the end of the game here. There's still 25 seconds on Wako, and he's the main wave clear. You can't really do the same with Minji. Looks like DCG are going to play a little bit safer in this one, but that was such an odd turn of events. A really good escape by Leon, but Kino kind of just threw everything away. I feel like he got a little Okay, that damage clearly went through, but it was in the last half second there, so the back still goes through.
Right.
Once again, I just feel like Kino in these two fights has been way too angsty with the engages. They need to have more patience. They need to wait for LeBlanc to actually put damage on this composition before they get into that Jinx kill range. But Kino just kind of losing his mind in the last two fights here.
And here's how it all started, though. It was a chase on DeLeon. Meanwhile, we can't talk about this fight because we got another one going on, and again, it's going to be Kino getting caught. This time, he's at least on the retreat path, but they managed to turn these things around. Leaky going to be taking up a lot of rocket poke. That hook does not land. Kino's dredge line can't stretch quite that far, and Hana on the front line now gets turned once again. Usha regrouping with the rest of the team. This is Mountain Soul in 15 seconds. Both teams are going to try and reset for it, but with an open inhibitor, or rather a downed inhibitor up top, this is going to be tough. Husha waiting in the wings, not going to go for the back here. Teleport comes through. Dragon spawns. Hana's a little low. Minji, that's burst. They've got a lot of damage onto Woody. Not enough, though. And you've got a timer. Beyond Gaming cannot let this go away. Keep your eyes on Husha.
He's trying to find a flank angle, but I think what he needs to do is actually kick the back line away. The front line isn't even that important.
Waiting for the Destiny Gate. This is going to go down to a smite fight again. It gets taken. Hana's smite is right, and they cannot take this fight. Leaky on the chase. The rest of Beyond Gaming scattered, running for the hills, and they've lost everything. They may not have lost a member, but they're losing their base, and they couldn't contest on the Drake.
Yeah, that was a heist situation for Beyond Gaming. At this point, they just don't have the damage outside of Wako to do anything. So they want to just try and steal the Drake. And DCG did a very good job. You know, CC chained Lee Sin up, and Hana was able to win the smite fight onto that one. Now they're just pushing down onto the base, and this is wave clear, no wave clear from the mid lane. With the Mountain Drake as well, the damage difference is going to be absolutely massive here. If we need to find a win, we have to get an insect. I don't see how Beyond Gaming are going to take a 5v5 without it.
Usha has to be the hero. Meanwhile, Deep Cross pushing on two lanes, while a third is pushing of its own volition with those super minions. Inhibitor already down to half health. Friscata poking out a little far ahead, but he does have the minion wave to his advantage now. Wako trying to Nesty. That's the gold card instantly cleansed by Wako, and now things turn just a little bit. Do they get enough damage? As you see Husha going in, but the worst is real as Friscata sends them all to the grave with a massive Moonlight Vigil. Husha the last man standing, and that will not be enough. Deep Cross Gaming gonna close this one out with an absolute bada boom. Oh my goodness, Clement! What a crazy series we've had as it goes up 2-1 for Deep Cross.
200 years is still in the house. What an amazing finish right there! Heartbreaker strike.